is CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. A Windsor jury is sequestered for the night, having started their deliberations in the fate of two men from Leamington. 26-year-old Silbert Karen and 23-year-old Ezekiel Thompson are facing assault and firearm offenses charges for a shooting of a Detroit man in May 2023. The group of men were involved in a fight before the American was shot in the foot, but he survived. The Crown used surveillance video of the fight and shooting to show who the alleged suspects were, along with eyewitness testimony. The defense lawyers say, however, none of that evidence could prove beyond a reasonable doubt the guilty parties. The jury will resume their deliberations tomorrow morning. We will post any updates on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Windsor police are looking into a recent interaction between an officer and a panhandler.
Beat for money. Sorry, I'm just asking. Okay.
The video, shared directly with CTV News by the man who recorded it, shows part of an interaction between himself and an officer in a grocery store parking lot on February 21st. At one point, the officer's hand can be seen moving toward the phone, which jolts out of the frame. The man behind the video, Kevin Lassaline, tells us he was panhandling in the parking lot when police pulled up. Sources tell us he had been asked to leave by store management a few times, and when failing to comply, police were called. We should note, however, the moments leading up to Lassaline's phone being swiped were not recorded. In a subsequent video provided to us, the officer is shown leaving the scene as he discloses his badge number and then says goodbye to Lassaline by name.
I don't want to press charges for assault, but come on. To me, if I press charges, then we got to go to court. And it seems like, to me, just like cut to the chase. You'd ask the three cops themselves, like, what do you feel this was excessive force?
Meantime, the police service is saying a break-in investigation has led to drug trafficking charges. Earlier this week, suspects cut through a fence and stole construction equipment from a business on Hawthorne Drive. 2 days later, two men were arrested. Police say officers found meth, fentanyl, and other suspected drugs, along with cash and packaging materials. A stolen tool from the property was also recovered. Police are still searching for a third suspect. Meantime, in Chatham-Kent, police there have also made arrests after executing a search warrant near Thamesville. They say it's connected to two break-ins earlier this month at a business on Arnold Street in Wallaceburg. Officers found a vehicle they believed was used in the crimes and arrested a man and woman from Thamesville. Both are charged with break and enter and were held for a bail hearing while this investigation continues. Essex County OPP are confirming tonight a weapons call in Tecumseh led to a brief police pursuit and a two-car crash. Essex County OPP say officers arrived on Aloha Drive Thursday afternoon when a white Ram pickup and black Dodge Challenger took off. Police tell us they briefly pursued before the two vehicles collided at Tecumseh and L'Esperance, disabling the Challenger. Two people were inside arrested, but the Ram fled toward Windsor and has not been found. No one was hurt, and the OPP's major crime unit is now leading the investigation. There is a growing number of auto insurance companies offering discounted rates if you give them permission to track your driving habits. But a research team at the University of Windsor is warning tonight your personal information may be at risk. Stephanie Mazzotti has the story.
For some, tracking where you drive, the route, the time of day, your speed, and how much pressure you use to brake determines how much auto insurance you pay. Upon signing a contract with a provider, clients are directed to install an app on their phone that tracks drivers' habits in real time and provides an overall score to the company. That score determines how much you pay.
We must ensure and keep our personal data secret, and it's not good, as you know, to everyone know your data or know your location, know your type of your vehicle or something like that.
But researchers at the University of Windsor say that's not always the case.
One of the most dangerous one is the targeted theft.
This international PhD student and lead researcher says companies may sell your data to a third party, which means means they have data on the car you drive, your daily commute to and from work, or even, for example, when you are out of the country, leaving your house vulnerable to theft. Thanks to a grant from the Office of the Privacy Commissioner of Canada, the team has developed an encryption system that acts as a firewall between the insurance company and the driver. So the company will receive the driver's overall driving score, but will not be able to access when, where, and how you drive.
In this case, no data will be released to the company. They can get their score, but without any raw information.
It's a project they hope the government will one day make mandatory to protect our privacy.
All this information can be kept safe and secure.
Stephanie Mazzotti, CTV News.
This raises our question of the day. Would you let yourself be tracked to save money on car insurance? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked who should clean up after dogs on municipal property. Near consensus on that one. Of more than 700 votes, 97% said it should be the dog owner's responsibility. The weather may have warmed up during the day, but we're told it didn't make a fundraiser tonight any warmer. You can tell by the look on that boy's face that water is cold. Yet participant after participant stepped up to the platform and jumped into the cold water to support the Special Olympics tonight. The annual event was held downtown near the Aquatic Center, with dozens of police officers leading the way for the cause. Also in the crowd, some familiar faces to CTV News Windsor.
How was it?
It was colder than I thought it would be.
My wiener shrunk 2 sizes this day.
But we survived.
We did it. Shout out to Special Olympics. I'll be here again next year. Mel, what do you think? You coming back?
Hannah has to come back next year.
Another major donation is helping push Windsor's new hospital project closer to the finish line. The Chinese community of Windsor, Essex has pledged to raise $500,000 over the next 5 years for the new fancy family hospital. The money will go toward medical equipment and technology at the future acute care facility. Foundation officials say this is the first community group to formalize a fundraising commitment, with a multi-purpose education room set to be named in recognition. Local organizers have been supporting the hospital project for years, with fundraising dating back to 2017. Meantime, Windsor firefighters have been busy this past week. They're out and about handing out big checks to local schools and, of course, local students. The money is for breakfast programs at local elementary schools. It's the proceeds from their annual Chili Fest. This year's event was at the Hellenic Center on Walker Road. Firefighter Derek Bull says they made more than $17,000 at a single event, which featured dozens of chilies to try and friendly competition between the fire halls. Every single dollar will be given to local school breakfast programs. In sports tonight, the Windsor Spitfires went up the 401 today to take on rival London Knights. It started out evenly split, 1-1 after 1, and then...
There's a choke in front of the net. Shot, Greentree! Boy, he peppered it past Medvedev, and the turnover was costly. 3-1 Windsor.
Definitely costly. Your Spitfires came roaring in the second period, scoring 2 goals in the span of 20 seconds. Pardon me, they would not let up on the Knights after that, sinking 4 more goals in the second to go up 5-0 going into the final period. Spitz would add just 1 more in the third to finish off the Knights. Shout out to Liam Greentree, who scored a hat trick in tonight's game in London. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weekend weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead in our newscast, a trip to a coffee shop lands a Guelph father accused of a serious crime that he did not commit. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a look at weekend weather. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Michelle. The weekend is likely to be a mixed bag. We'll have, well, periods of fair weather, just like today. It just won't be as warm, and temperatures are going to take a bit of a nosedive over the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll see rain maybe even some flurry activity. Some projections have the totals somewhere near 2 centimeters of snow. More on that in just a moment. 12.4 degrees Celsius today. Quite warm, well above our average high that's closer to +2. The worst weather, at least in terms of snow, as well to our north, but there will be a shortwave disturbance that will bring a cold front through, drop our temperatures in the next 24 hours. The overnight temperature is down to about 0. We've seen it colder, but a sweep of rain first, followed by snow just clipping extreme southwestern Ontario, where we live specifically. And it will leave maybe a light dusting to upwards of 2 centimeters, anywhere from, I'd say, Amherstburg towards Pelee Island, Leamington, our friends in Kingsville, along those northwestern shores of Lake Erie. Rain, by the way, is still a possibility early tomorrow morning, technically between, say, midnight and 3 a.m. I think it'll be very light, and then enough snow that we could see 1 to 2 centimeters. This model is a little more generous, upwards of 3 centimeters projected. I think it'll be a dusting to about 2, but it won't be here for very long. I'll talk about temperatures warming as we head towards Monday in just a moment. Overnight lows, as mentioned, 0 degrees. It is windy tonight, and it'll be windy tomorrow morning as well. We'll see gusts in that 40 to 50 range and start to die down towards Saturday afternoon, early evening. Okay, so the mixture of sun and cloud is still possible. That's the projection for Saturday midday through the afternoon. A high of 0 degrees, say, comes in around 3 or 4 p.m. and it just gets a bit colder. Tomorrow transitions from rain, as you can see there with the icon, to flurries, possible snow sticking around, and a colder -2. Our average high for this time of the year, as of today, close to about 2.5 degrees Celsius, 2.5 on the plus side. Take a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast. Monday and Tuesday will go from fair and cold, -1, to warmer, +3, and cloudy with a good chance of showers. Fair on Wednesday, 7 degrees, then 8, then 9, a nice steady progression. Might see some showers Thursday, but warming up, and that's why whatever snow we see Sunday morning certainly isn't going to last very long. That's a look at your weather.
It's been a rough week for 2 workforces in Windsor, Essex. First, the Diageo factory in Amherstburg is now idled for good. And locked out workers at Titan Tool are facing a similar fate now that they've learned the company is ceasing operations. CTV's Chris Campbell reports.
After nearly 7 months locked out, frustration is giving way to acceptance outside Titan Tool. Many workers now say they believe the plant will close and they just want certainty.
It's frustrating for most of us. You know, it's just we're hoping we can settle this either close agreement or negotiation. And we just want to get it done and over with.
Roberto Cholock spent 40 years at the plant. He was hoping to work 2 more years before retiring. Now he says he's taking it one day at a time.
It was awesome for many, many years. It's not the same anymore. With the new management now, it's like it is what it is now. And then, you know what? One day at a time. And whatever happens, happens.
Union leaders say Thursday's job action when they blocked 6 transports from accessing the factory carrying tools and materials for Martin Ria marked a turning point.
Our spirits are uplifted now. We feel very good that we're going to come to some type of agreement or a closure agreement.
Late Thursday, the union let the trucks in so Martin Ria could remove their tools from the facility, and replacement workers from Futura were being sent back. After 202 days, leadership says the focus has shifted.
Now we're not looking back anymore. We're more looking forward.
There are 27 workers still locked out. The union says it's hopeful they can be absorbed into other Unifor represented plants, pointing to new openings tied to the third shift at Stellantis. The company has previously said it is not stamping parts at the facility. It did not respond to CTV News' request for comment all week. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
The closure of Diageo was one of the first things that came up during a scrum today in Queen's Park.
Ford had the gall to come out and say, that was the best deal I could have gotten for those workers. Well, I beg to differ, and so do they. What I'm hearing from those workers is that they feel they wasted their votes last year in voting Conservative. Their MPP...
Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles was holding a news conference to mark the one-year anniversary of Doug Ford's election victory. Stiles told the media Ford's $23 million deal with Diageo doesn't directly help the people who lost their jobs this week. Meantime, in his one-year anniversary scrum, interim Liberal leader John Fraser remains critical of Doug Ford for calling an election last year in the first place. Fraser says Ford took advantage of the threat of Donald Trump.
At the height of a time of great instability, where people were afraid of what was happening because of Donald Trump. He's a great foil. Did he talk about health care during that election? Did he talk about schools? Right? Did he talk about getting jobs for young people? No, he talked about Donald Trump, and he spent most of his time down there talking to American television.
Canada's main stock index closed the week weighed down by losses in the tech and financial sectors. In Toronto, the TSX lost 162 points, while in New York, the Dow fell 521 and the Nasdaq dropped 210. The Canadian dollar is up a quarter cent to end the week, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $54 an ounce. Oil added $1.81 a barrel. Canada's Border Services Agency is set to cut nearly 350 jobs at its national headquarters in the nation's capital, part of the federal government's plan to eliminate 28,000 positions by 2029. Border Services tells CTV News around 700 employees will receive workforce adjustment notices as it implements a 2% budget cut. The Public Service Agency of Canada says more than 400 of its union members received notices last week they could lose their jobs. The union says it comes as border operations face increasing pressure. The union adds that cutting staff will weaken Canada's ability to respond to emerging risks and ensure the smooth movement of people and goods. A recent stop at a coffee shop ended with police trying to track down a father and daughter in Guelph. But as CTV's Spencer Turcotte tells us, it was all the result of a mistake by a bystander who was just trying to do the right thing.
A father and daughter stopping by a Guelph coffee shop. Quite normal for Jonathan Puddle and his daughter, Emmy.
We said, hey, do you want to go grab a coffee? So we came here and stood there and perused the menu.
Little did they know tens of thousands of people would soon see their faces. A security camera photo of the two was shared widely by Guelph police, asking for the public's help to locate and speak with them.
So we sat down just over there and ate our snacks and chatted about nonsense, and then we went out and got in the van, thinking nothing of it.
As they pulled out, there was a knock on the van window. It was the young man and his girlfriend who Jonathan recognized from inside the coffee shop.
He said, can you explain how you're related to her? And so I said, yeah, this is my daughter.
And I was kind of like looking at her to see if she would give me anything.
She didn't really help much because she just kind of clammed up and didn't really say anything to him.
I had no idea what they were talking about. I did not hear a single thing.
Jonathan soon realized the young man was just showing concern for his daughter's well-being.
I said, hey, I really respect that. Yeah. This is my daughter. We're okay.
Logan says what he overheard between the two inside sounded as though they were unfamiliar to each other. He was worried it could be a case of human trafficking.
And I was still iffy on it, and then that was when I decided to call it in, just to be safe than sorry, because I know it's a serious issue.
The Guelph Police Service took the concerns seriously, too.
We did begin an investigation in an attempt to locate and identify those parties.
We start getting a flurry of text messages two days ago and see our photo, and the Guelph Police Service is looking to get in contact with us.
And very quickly, the involved man called the police and offered the clarification in terms of what was happening, which we were satisfied with and found certainly no grounds to continue the investigation any further.
Police are praising the young couple for their awareness of a concerning trend. Thankfully for everyone involved, human trafficking was not at play here.
I mean, it's a huge relief. I was still worried about it even a week after I made the call out.
As a father, Jonathan is just grateful the couple went out of their way to protect his daughter from perceived danger.
If one of my children was missing, I would tear the world apart to find them. And I would hope that every person was vigilant, had their eyes open.
With that important lesson in mind, the father-daughter duo can share a little laugh now that despite how they look in that notorious photo,
it's a super flattering photo.
Everyone involved is indeed safe. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Guelph.
NASA announced major changes to its Artemis program today and even added a new mission. The changes come just days after the Artemis II blastoff was delayed to address critical issues with the launch system. But the space agency is still shooting for the moon and beyond. CTV's John Vanavelli-Rao now on NASA's new plans for the Artemis program.
In a video hyping the coming Artemis II mission with Canadian Jeremy Hansen, you can see the 4 astronauts waiting to blast off on a rocket that NASA continues to say is launching soon. A rocket now being repaired inside of a huge hangar after another issue was discovered last week, with NASA still hoping to launch in early April.
What we're doing is anything but easy, and we've seen that with the challenges that we've encountered.
And now the space agency revamping plans for what comes after Hansen and the others loop around the moon. Artemis III was supposed to land humans on the surface for the first time in half a century. Instead, it's now scheduled to blast off next year and stay in low Earth orbit for a test flight to try and dock with at least one prototype lunar lander. Artemis IV will then attempt a touchdown on the moon in 2028, along with a second possible landing.
So it's challenging, it's ambitious, but with this course correction, we are on a more stable foundation, a more realistic path to the milestones we have ahead.
The decision comes amid a new space race, with China continuing to make progress towards its goal of landing people on the moon by 2030.
I think competition is good. I think it's a great way to, motivate our workforce and our partners, again, to achieve the near impossible. This competition worked very well for us in the 1960s.
NASA is also scrapping plans to build a more powerful version of its Artemis rockets, instead focusing on making them more quickly and launching every 10 months or so.
Everybody agrees this is the only way forward.
Still, some are skeptical of the new timeline, with Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin still developing their lunar landers for NASA. And some question whether either of those will be ready for a test flight next year. John Vanavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
A Windsor man who once spent decades performing live music around Essex County is getting an unexpected moment back in the spotlight, thanks to a chance encounter with a local social media platform. CTV's Sanjay Mara reports a spontaneous performance is now connecting his music with a new generation of listeners, while also serving as a source of inspiration to never give up on a passion.
When the money coming heavy, best believe I split it up. Give it to my brother's family, the ones that rockin' with me since the day I started. Since the day I started rocking, since the day I started spitting, since the day.
This is Freestyle Fridays, a social media production that turns different parts of Windsor into a musical backdrop. Local rappers stepping up to the mic for a chance to share their music online. But late last week, as a Freestyle Fridays video was being filmed in front of the Windsor Water Tower, a neighbor nearby took notice.
It looked like a crime scene of sorts. I thought something had happened. So being inquisitive, I went out and asked the young fella, I said, what's going on? He said, well, we're shooting a rap video. And so we got to talking. I said, well, yeah, I used to play around the city.
In fact, he was a member of a traveling band called 8 Guys Named Mo from the late 1970s to the early 2000s. And other than at his local church, he had not performed publicly in years. That is until later that night when Freestyle Fridays let him step up to the mic.
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
I wanted to give him a platform, help him get his name out, and hopefully all together we can, fund his dreams.
Music enthusiast Sam Costin says when he moved to Windsor in 2018, he fell in love with both the city and its local talent. So he combined his passion for music with a platform designed to give emerging artists a free space to perform.
I'd like to build it to something where it really means something to be on the channel, and, a career can really form out of this page
stage.
We all have pain. We all have sorrow.
As for Bishop, who now spends much of his time in his art studio, the 74-year-old says the video is not about whether this leads to anything more, but rather a reminder to keep pursuing what you love.
If you have a passion in your life, don't give up on it. Get back into it, and you'd be surprised how it'll make you feel and how it'll make other people feel. It's a good thing.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
All right, and meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me one last time for tonight and one last time for the week with weekend weather.
Michelle, I'm promising some better weather for next week, starting with Monday. We'll see a bit of a drop in temperatures after a balmy day today, 12 degrees Celsius down to about 0. Early morning rain between midnight and, say, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then fair during the day. Sunday, some flurries. Possibly some snow, yes, 1 to 2 centimeters. And then Monday, fair, -1, still colder than seasonal by 3 degrees. And then +3, right about seasonal on Tuesday with good chance of showers in the morning. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we just get warmer. Fair, cloudy, showers, and then fair again for the most part. Upwards of 9 degrees above the freezing mark a week from now. Wherever you are, enjoy your weather and your weekend. Good night.
Same to you, Gary. Finally for us tonight, Canada's named its flag bearers for the Paralympic Games, with the opening ceremony set for a week from today. And one of them is a familiar face in Essex County. Para-hockey captain Tyler McGregor, who lives in our area now, hails from Forest, Ontario. He will join para-Nordic skiing star Natalie Wilkie to carry the colors. McGregor's heading into his 4th Paralympic Winter Games, holding 2 silver and 1 bronze. Wilkie, meanwhile, has 7 medals over 2 games, making her one of the world's most successful para-Nordic skiers. The opening ceremonies in Italy are set for March 6th. That's all the time we have for now. On behalf of all of us here at CTV News Windsor, everyone who works in front and behind the camera, thank you for supporting local news. We hope you have a wonderful and restful weekend. We'll see you right back here Monday at 6.